The afternoon sun cast long shadows across the courtyard of the Mahavihara monastery. Palm leaves rustled gently in the warm breeze. Inside the library, a young monk named Ananda sat cross-legged before his elderly teacher Mahinda. Ananda's brow was furrowed in concentration as he carefully unrolled a brittle scroll.
These chronicles, Master, they tell of our history, do they not?
Indeed, Ananda. They are the chronicles of our lineage, the story of the Buddha's teachings reaching our island and flourishing here.
Ananda gazed at the intricate Pali script.
But Master, how did these stories come to be written? Who first thought to record the Buddha's words and deeds?
The impulse to preserve the Buddha's teachings arose soon after his passing. His followers, eager to keep his memory alive, gathered to recite and memorize his sermons and sayings.
And this became the...
Precisely. The or three baskets became the foundational text of Buddhism. It enshrined the Buddha's discourses, the monastic rules, and the philosophical commentaries. From this sacred repository, our historical chronicles would eventually spring forth.
Ananda pondered this for a moment.
But Master, this speaks of the Buddha's life and teachings. These chronicles tell of events long after, of kings and kingdoms.
Ananda, the Buddha's teachings did not remain confined to one place or time. They spread, carried by devoted monks across mountains and seas.
And as the Dharma traveled, so too did the need to record its journey. Each new land the Buddha's teachings reached became a new chapter in the story of Buddhism. The chronicles you study arose from this need to document the spread of the Dharma.
Tell me, Master, of the
or Island Chronicle is believed to be the older of the two. It is thought to have been compiled around the 4th century CE, drawing upon oral traditions and earlier monastic records. It tells of King Devanampiya Tissa, who embraced the Buddha's teachings brought to our island by the venerable Mahinda. It speaks of the construction of magnificent stupas and monasteries, and the flourishing of the Sangha in our land.
But Master, I've heard it said that these incomplete?
Indeed, Ananda. While valuable, is at times fragmented and inconsistent. Its language is archaic, and its chronology can be confusing.
And
The Great Chronicle is a more polished and comprehensive work. It is attributed to a monk named Mahanama, who lived in the 5th century CE. He drew upon but also incorporated other sources and wrote in a more engaging style. Mahanama's Chronicle is a grand epic. It recounts the lineage of Sinhala kings, intertwining their reigns with the progress of Buddhism on the island. It is a stirring narrative of piety, warfare, and the triumphs of the Dharma.
But Master, I have also heard whispers that these biased in favor of the Sinhala kings.
True, Ananda. While a literary masterpiece is not without its flaws, it presents a decidedly Sinhala-centric view of history, portraying their kings as righteous champions of Buddhism.
So, Master, we must read these chronicles with a discerning mind.
Indeed, Ananda. These chronicles are not merely historical records. They are also literary creations, shaped by the beliefs and perspectives of their authors. We must remember that history is not merely a recitation of facts, but a tapestry woven from many threads. To understand it fully, we must consider the context, the motivations, and the silences within these texts. We must look beyond the chronicles, to archaeological findings, to inscriptions, to accounts from other cultures, to gain a more nuanced understanding of the past.
But Master, if these chronicles are flawed, can we truly rely on them to understand our history?
Every historical source, Ananda, must be approached with a critical eye. We must question, we must cross-reference, we must acknowledge both the strengths and limitations of the texts we study. Despite their shortcomings, are invaluable records of our past. They provide insights into the development of Buddhism in Sri Lanka, the evolution of our society, and the worldview of those who came before us. Remember, Ananda, words have power. The stories we tell ourselves about the past shape our understanding of the present and influence the choices we make for the future.
Even today, Master.
Especially today, Ananda. In a world grappling with division and conflict, understanding the complexities of history is more vital than ever. These chronicles remind us that our history is not a monolithic narrative, but a multifaceted tapestry woven from diverse perspectives and experiences. They challenge us to engage critically with the past, to acknowledge both the triumphs and the tragedies that have brought us to this point. By studying these chronicles, we learn not only about the past, but also about ourselves. We gain a deeper understanding of our own beliefs, our own biases, and our shared human story.
As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow across the monastery library, Ananda carefully rolled up the ancient scrolls. He felt a profound sense of connection to the generations of monks who had come before him, who had dedicated their lives to preserving these stories. He realized, were not merely historical documents. They were testaments to the enduring power of storytelling, of the human need to make sense of the past and find meaning in the present. Ananda vowed to study these chronicles with care, to honor the legacy entrusted to him, and to use his knowledge to illuminate the path ahead. For he understood that to forget the past was to risk repeating it, but to understand it was to hold the key to a wiser, more compassionate future.